Hey, Kent, let's get right into it.
Big day.
I got to ask you.
Yeah.
The world is in love with Gabe Cupps.
Yes.
They're on my ass because here's what you do as a coach.
Yeah.
You say, all right, he played really well against a bad mid-major.
Right.
You don't know as a coach how that's going to translate. So I get Indiana fans where you have enthusiasm for this based on what you watch, but I tried to give a little perspective the other day of what a coach looks at, and the coach is looking at, great, thank you for bailing my ass out.
Yeah.
But coach isn't getting all that excited because you don't know until, here we go, Connecticut game. You know, whoever they're playing. That's how and Cupps' dad knows that. I think he told my son they're recruiting a kid. I don't know, maybe he didn't. I don't know, but that's my understanding. Everybody understands that except for fans. So my question becomes:
oh wait, Mike Woodson doesn't understand this because that's not what he said after the game.
What's he gonna say?
Mike Woodson was over the moon.
Good.
Yeah,
he should be
Cupps.
because he was getting ready to get his ass beat by
was.
Florida Gulf Coast without their best player.
Now, let me ask you.
Yeah.
Mackenzie Mbako, he got the start.
Yeah.
Then Gabe Cupps comes in, and they start running the three guards.
Mm-hmm.
Is this more a problem with Mbako or a positive with Cupps?
Kent, I'm telling you, you know what you do after every game? You put the thermometer in the mouth and the ass of every player and take the temperature of everybody.
His temperature was either really, really cold or really, really high, and Mbako's was.
Well, here's the deal. I like what Woody said after. So many coaches, Tom was okay cream at it. Archie was a soft milquetoast, whatever. But Woody said, hey, those two guys got to figure out what the hell we're doing on defense. I forget who the other one was. It was Mbako and...
Renew. Good heavens. He's got to figure it out.
Renew got it. You know what Renew should do? You know what he should do?
I don't know. Take art classes, learn how to color.
Cut his hair and get serious. Yeah. I know that's bad. I know. Get the headband up.
Clowns.
Yes, but it's so true.
Yeah.
Hey, look, what are you about? Because he's really good. He's really good.
Until he is.
Until he has to think and be on defense like Woody said, where the hell are you going? But I'm just telling you, he is really good. But don't let things distract you. If he becomes just think about it. Michael,
Delete the brand.
It's just just don't, it's so hard, but don't let, and cut your hair isn't literal, it's more figurative, don't let.
He's worried about his hair.
That's
Don't
what I'm
worry
saying.
about your hair.
Don't worry about
play
none
the
of
game.
it. If you're worried about it, cut your hair. And then go get 20 and be serious. And there isn't a great player even that Wembanyama. I was reading something on Wembanyama.
Yeah.
Big kid, how hard he works.
Yeah.
Insane. Just get serious about your craft, and that kid will be an NBA player. He's that good.
Yeah.
How good was my boy Galloway?
Really good.
More Galloway, less Johnson.
Although, I thought, I want to ask you about Johnson. Galloway, I thought that Galloway is a guy who could score 16 to 22 in his sleep against Florida Gulf Coast, but in the Big Ten, it's going to be a little more difficult.
I'll tell you what, he made a move that works against anybody late. He got to the right side, couple dribbles, crossed over, spun, went under the bucket the other way. I'll give you a shit if you're playing against Abdul-Jabbar. I'm just telling you,
and I know you cut on the
I know you're poo-pooing me.
Well, I've never heard. You know what?
Tell me.
I've heard you say things in the past where I thought, that's crazy, and then it came to pass. So
he's not going to be a first-team All-American.
No.
He's not going to be. But I'm going to tell you something.
No.
He's going to be close. I'm just telling you.
I love it.
It doesn't take Greg fucking Doyle or Dan Wolken to vote it in. He's going to be as good a player at Indiana as anybody is on their team. Now, this whole thing is stupid, the voting and all that stuff, but he's going to be that good. He defends the hell out of it. He can move his feet. And here's what, I got to turn the game off. I got what the fuck? I'm watching him stand around on offense, and I'm and then
that was horrible.
Michigan State was worse. Michigan State went old school.
Was that fun?
Remember when we were growing up? Julius Erving get the ball on the left side. Everybody else would be on the right side.
Yeah.
Kid is I'm watching this. The game is morphed into the 70s.
There are two guys I love to see get angry. It's Fran and it's Tom. And when they're angry, I'm happy. And that makes me a weak human being, but I really enjoy it.
That makes you somebody that likes good entertainment.
Let me ask you about Cupps and Johnson.
Yeah.
Because I saw 3 different times Cupps go to Johnson, try to switch before an inbound. Yeah. Like, I need to take this guy, you need to take that guy. Yeah. And Johnson wasn't having any of it. These guys both seem to be alphas. You got one that's a 6-year senior, and the other was like in 7th grade when he started his college career. How do you manage that situation?
I got to tell you. You want me to tell you how I managed that situation? I called Johnson in. I said, you got 2 choices. You're either going to be a leader on this team and not a jackass, or you're sitting. We haven't won with you. We got enough players here. It's that simple. He's not that important. I would argue, and again, I said this last year, the key to the Indiana being better last year was him getting hurt, and the ball got in Shafino's hands, and the ball got in Galloway's hands, and it got out of him as it would be so easy to coach Johnson through that. You just say, look, you ain't that fucking good.
Yeah.
Like, you're not. And we love you. You're either going to be a leader, and I would have to know what Cupps was doing. Was Cupps following a scouting report? Was he correct? Right, that's what I got to know. And if Cupps was right, then I explode on him. And the perfect time to explode is after a win.
Yeah.
Perfect time. And he had enough points, Johnson did, and but when I tweeted out more Galloway, less Johnson, doesn't mean you don't play Johnson. I'm not saying that. But I'm sitting there watching that horrific, god-awful, what the fuck are you doing offensive Indiana standing around, and this guy dribbling, going nowhere, and I'm like, wait a second here, you got to be good. You and I talked about, if Galloway's going to stay in the corner, if Galloway played in motion offense circa 1985, he'd have been a first-team All-American.
Yeah.
But in this crap stand, he'd got 12 to 20 shots a game. Now he got 9, and he had to go get most of those. So, but Cupps was terrific. Indiana guy, you can tell. Indiana loves the white guys, though.
Yeah, they do.
People got on my ass. I'm like, all right, why was Damon Bailey more popular than Calvert Cheney?
Right.
So don't ask me about that. You can go down. I was the white guy one time. Right. One time. Girls were hanging out after I made all tournament. I'm like, hey. Just saying. What did you think? Overall, what did you think?
I really liked, talking about Cupps, I really liked the angles he took. I liked the way he handled the basketball. I thought things moved when he was in the game. And I thought through his effort, he raised everybody else's.
I agree. I'm so tired of the Miller cop, the Xavier Johnson, who are into themselves. It looked like old school. He dove for one, came back into play, got his hand on. I mean, if those guys, whether it is, and I'll be honest with you, I think Cupps is the best thing for Galloway, to your point, because Cupps can play in Galloway's spot. Cupps plays a certain way that he doesn't need affirmation from anybody. Galloway looks like he kind of does, and most of it's from women and what I hear. I mean, get out of the women's dorms and start hanging out. What are you doing? Anyway, be an All-American. A lot of shit in this brain. Anyway, but Cupps is great.
If you were Trey Galloway, where would you be?
I would be right in the middle of every. If I looked like Trey Galloway, the last thing I would do, I know. I learned from my mistakes.
I'd go to Cook Hall and get up some shots, right? And go wander over here.
I'd go to Cook Hall till about 10. And then I'd be perusing. I wouldn't go to Knicks. But learn from my mistake. You're right. But that dude has so much. But anyway, Cupps, I don't want to see these same guys. I'm tired of guys not understanding how to play basketball. I'm tired of guys not doing the little things that Indiana.
How much fun was that?
That was fun.
See a guy who
that stretch. That stretch was great.
Yeah, the 14-0.
That was great.
And you saw it. Like, immediately, it was, who was it? Johnson to Galloway to Renew. They get the bucket. They get the three-point play. And during that possession, coming out of the timeout at like 10:50 left, it was like, hey, where the hell did this come from all of a sudden? How the hell did they figure out how to play offensive basketball? The
standing is, I told you this.
Oh, my God.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
And that's the reason. You hire an NBA guy for a lot of reasons, okay? You think he's the right guy to fit the community, okay. You think he can recruit, NBA recruiting, all that stuff. But on the court, this is where, I don't know what the hell Woodson was. I know what he was doing. He was falling asleep in meetings when he was an assistant coach, because that offense is horseshit. College basketball coaches, I've told you this, trek to NBA practices, not for any other reason other than NBA guys run great shit to get the best shooter shots.
Yeah.
And they do it quickly with a shot clock.
Right.
And every coach that has come into the college game, except for Woodson, and I can't believe I'm saying this, has improved the offensive movement / set / whatever you want to call system of the previous coach. Howard did not, because Beeline's offense was great. But most of these other guys, and I don't even know who they are, maybe I'm wrong about it, but Woodson has come in and I'm like, dude, you did this. But I guess you just don't think it'll work, because the standing around watching Xavier frickin' Johnson dribble, that's going to get you beat 20 against good teams. And you're not going to be at home. I had a friend text me, goes, hey, I'm taking Florida Gulf Coast money line. I go, okay, great. Take it for 1 penny when they were up 6 or whatever.
Yeah.
I go, the 8-minute timeout's coming. That William Teller, and they're going to shit the bed. Bet Indiana, spend every dime you have, pay the juice, and win some money. What are you doing? Like, what's wrong with you?
Don't complicate winning.
Don't.
No.
No, but, I like Renew. Do you? You don't like Renew.
Well, Renew is the perfect guy to me, where when we were at Walnut Knolls in 85, 86, when you were playing, you'd point and you'd say, this guy's got to get the hell off the floor. He doesn't know what he's doing. And immediately, Knight would get somebody in the game because that guy didn't know what he was doing. That's Renew to me. Yeah. He's the guy that Knight sycophants or disciples would point at and say, he's got to go. Shit in the bed toward the end of regulation with that inbounds pass. I don't know what the hell he was supposed to do with it, but that wasn't it. You can't have that. Next time that happens, that's on Woodson.
I agree.
Because you can't have that guy baseline out of bounds throwing it in a close game.
As a Knight follower, who would you start this next game?
Cupps, Galloway, Ware. I don't even know if it matters who you start at the 3 and the 4.
I'm just saying.
I got those three guys.
I'm starting Cupps.
Oh, for sure.
If you're Knight.
Yeah.
Who do you think Woodson will start?
Oh, I don't think he's going to piss off the 5-star right out the chute.
I agree.
And put him in a position where maybe he starts looking for fertile ground elsewhere.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right. And others are seeing this and calling him.
Derek Queen's watching.
Yeah. Well, I'm talking about other schools.
Oh,
I'm talking about other schools. But, the truth of the matter is Duke didn't want the kid. Kansas did recruit him some. And there's a reason. And Woodson's got to get that reason out of him.
And you saw how good he can be.
Sure.
There was a shot in the first half that I was like, oh, that's NBA shooting. So there are things he can do. But that is, so we're getting kind of off field. And we're going to talk about the Colts, I promise you. Make sure you subscribe to Two Big Brains so that you're eligible to win prizes. We've always got we generally have prizes. But subscribe, like the video. There you go.
Hold on.
Yeah.
This IU team needs a Neil Reed type guy.
Oh, jeez.
The guy that literally, Knight said, I don't want you guys coming to practice with your girlfriends. You got too many girlfriends. Come with a teammate. Knight and I are walking up the next day. Who does Neil Reed get out of the car with? His girlfriend. The last thing this team needs is Neil fucking Reed. Rest in peace. Yo.
What were we talking about?
I
totally forgot.
I don't either, but I saw that and I want to explode. Neil Reed. Yeah, okay. What are you, Neil Reed's aunt? Uncle? Jesus.
Wait, yes. That's what I wanted to ask you about. Because Mackenzie Mbako looks like the kind of guy who spent 3 hours a day with a trainer learning one-on-one basketball and didn't learn the game as he played it.
Yeah.
How bad is that for basketball?
That's terrible, because you saw what Cupps did that is not that.
Right.
And Indiana, and I go back to, Romeo Langford, all these guys. Eric Gordon didn't have any of what that, he's great, he's made millions of dollars, a legend, blah, blah, blah. He didn't make plays like that.
No.
You would put Eric Gordon on the best defender or offensive guy because you're getting a stand line. But Indiana basketball made its bones by making plays like Cupps made. Galloway needs to make more. I've always been disappointed in Galloway that he doesn't make enough of those. Just smart. His dad was a coach, I guess, and all that stuff. That matters or doesn't, I don't know. But what I do know is Basketball smarts is Indiana's thing, always has been, and Indiana has, for the last however many years, had a lot of stupid players. And right now they got a couple, and good for Woodson to call them out and say, look, until they learn what the hell they're doing defensively, hey.
We'll see the stones that Woody's got
he doesn't
when he puts guys on the floor against Army.
No, you know what's going to happen. I mean, how many straight games did they lose a couple years ago? And it was the same clowns running out there. Like, just stop with all that.
At least this time around, the rotation shifted from what you thought it was likely to be. Right? He would be just resolved and intractable in his rotation. I'm going to get this guy in at the under 12 timeout. And he did again and again. This, I'll guarantee you that he didn't foresee a circumstance where Cupps was going to be on the floor the last 12 minutes or whatever.
And I'll guarantee he didn't foresee a circumstance where that Mbako kid wasn't on the floor.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
He also probably didn't think they were going to play that badly and be in such a tight game. But, you know, Ken, every business, and people always think sports is so different, every business is about trust.
Yes.
You know, you hired people. Who did you trust to get on that mic? You're coaching. Who do I trust to get on that court? Who do I trust? You mentioned Renault taking the ball out. That's just stupid.
Yeah.
Unless we don't, you know, I'll give Woody the benefit of the doubt and say he sees things in practice that we maybe haven't. So one time, you're right. Next time, what are you doing? But I think that Mike has a real opportunity here, particularly going back to something you said about the whole Cupps-Johnson thing, to establish with Johnson, look, we haven't won shit with you here.
Right.
We won more when you were out. Now, maybe that's harsh to people out here, but that's coaching. You know, hey, hold on. Now, you're going to do, if he was wrong, you're going to do how we set this up, not what your ego tells you, and you're going to get to watch. I know you think you're a full-time starter here, but this kid's pretty good. And then Johnson has to make a decision. Is he a real guy or is he pussy?
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
I mean, if you're a real guy, you battle and you get in the first 5-7 minutes and you're good. If you're soft as hell, then you complain, whine, bitch, moan, and find somebody to bitch and moan with you.
You got to hold people accountable to playing for themselves instead of for the collective. Right? And I've not seen that at Indiana in forever.
No. The two things, that and I've not seen smart plays. I mean,
No.
I mean, I assume.
Really, I saw that, and this is what I love about the Big Ten tournament, is that the media gets to sit right behind the bench. Mm-hmm. Right? We're not up there. Right behind the bench. When Stanford Robinson was on that Indiana team, that was the worst bench I've ever seen. You had multiple players, including Robinson, standing up and yelling at assistant coaches, and all the assistant coaches, while they're being yelled at, and with Tom, yelling at different players. It was a total chaotic cacophony. It was impossible to figure out what the hell they were trying to do. It was such a mess. And I don't want to ever see that again.
Well, it's early in the season. I mean, that's why Krzyzewski has about 8 guys on scholarship. Yeah. That's true, man. Yeah. You keep them happy. I mean, once it got to a little bit of player empowerment, he never had 13. Never. I would bet you, and I could go back, I may do this and do something on a segment on it, but I'll bet you he rarely in his last few years had 10.
Here's my math. Where that's concerned, and tell me, 8 is exactly the right number. 8's the perfect number. And the more you get on the other side, you can handle a 9th because that 9th is kind of off on his own. But if all of a sudden you got 2 and 3, then all of a sudden those 3 are going to infect the other 8 and pull one over. You know what I mean? Like the gravity of those 3 or 4 or 5, you got big problems. Yeah. You got 5 scholarship guys outside that 8-man rotation, you got problems.
I tell you how Knight handled that, and I said this. He handled that by everybody in the operation knew you were going to get a shot if you worked every day.
Yeah.
And everybody knew that, and everybody accepted that, and everybody understood. Now, I don't know whether Quinn Buckner and those guys that went 32-0 really thought they were, but Buckner got benched in 1976. He got benched in the middle of the season.
There's some kind of nutritional thing.
Yeah, he was drinking beers every night. And Knight came over to their house, and then there was a off-the-court stupid incident where it was fine for Buckner, but he dragged Scotty May into the situation. I should write a book. Hey, look, Buckner, we know you're good, but he's the player of the year.
Yeah.
Do your shit on your dime. But don't bring in Scotty May. At least that's what Knight told me. I don't know if he's right or not, but that's what he said. You know, when you go to dinner with a guy every night, and I would hear stories, I would ask him. Occasionally, he'd be like, "None of your fucking business," or sometimes he would say, "Yeah, you know, I went over there, fridge full of beer, lady in town, married."
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah. You know, it's not true. Couldn't be. Not Hoosiers. Not us. No way.
We're just spreading rumors.
That's all allegedly.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, Knight confirmed it, but I don't know if it's true or not. Because Knight will tell you he likes a good tale.
We're certain that Knight believed what he was telling
what
you.
What he told me, he did. Yes, he believed exactly.
Perfect.
No, but you know, hey, Indiana got a win. It's better than a loss. Kevin Colwick comes in. That's the next one, Army, right?
Yeah. Sunday night.
Carson Cunningham, and if they now, let me tell you something. Army's a great team to schedule because everybody wants to see the cadets. Are they cadets? They're cadets. Army cadets.
Something like that.
Midshipmen.
I know we call them cadets. They're cadets.
Yeah, they're cadets.
Sure.
Everybody wants to see them. Kevin Colwick's from here. Carson, you know, it's a name that everybody recognizes. And they're the slowest team in America. You can beat them by 172.
And they can't recruit tall guys,
no, there's
right?
not very many tall guys. You got to grow when you're there, and then you got to stay.
Like Robinson.
Yes. Yeah. So anyway, that's a pretty good recap. You're not getting that anywhere else. Where are you getting the rest of this? Really? Lick, you need to tell me when this is on. Yeah, Lick.
It's on now.
What are you doing? You're here.
What are you talking about?
It's every Monday and Thursday. Let's say that.
And next week we can do it anytime because Colts are on their bye week. So let's go.
Let's talk Colts. 9:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
You good? You care? Does it matter to you when the Colts play?
It doesn't matter to me. I think ultimately it's good for me because my day... I got the whole afternoon to do whatever the hell I want.
I like the 4 o'clock. I like it at this time, and I'm going to tell you why.
Yeah.
I am weird. I like cozy NFL game, 5:30, 6 o'clock on. It's dark outside. I love that. Yeah. I do. Yeah. I love that. I think that's one of the people bitch about daylight savings, and I get it, but I love when it's cold out, not feeling guilty about not being outside, a football game on, some chilly world. And I love that it stays light till 10 o'clock in the summer. And I can play
golf.
That's the
best. Because nobody plays after 5, so you can get out there at 6.
Yeah.
You can play 36 if you want.
I'm telling you. So you didn't like the 4 o'clock. I can tell by your face.
I don't like 4 o'clock. I like routine. And when I was growing up, Bears, noon, every Sunday.
Dave Ryan and Johnny Morris.
Yeah, exactly. And I love that. And so this year with all the games at 1 except last week and then this week, I'm in. And this one being earlier, I'm super in.
Do you think that the Colts, if I remember right, I don't think you like them against the Patriots. I think you like the Patriots. Am I speaking out of turn?
You know what? No, you're right. I said that on Monday, and then I went back and looked at a couple of Patriots games and started looking at things, and you're 100% right. They're garbage.
They're terrible.
They can't play.
Ken, I spent a week or so ago, I watched their whole game. I don't know what was on. I don't know what it was. They're horrible.
Yeah,
like they have,
really bad.
Yeah, and I don't think, Mac Jones comes out of Alabama, and he's won national championship, and he's going to be the guy, and he's not very good. And like the Colts, they don't have any speed. They don't have a guy. Stevenson's an okay running back.
Right.
Defense is okay. They're just a bad football team.
Really bad. They don't do anything well. They don't have anything dynamic on the offensive side other than Stevenson occasionally that you have to worry about at all. Their receivers aren't very good. Our corners aren't very good. If we get pressure, we win this game easy.
I agree.
Colts.
Well, and I look at Belichick, 81-94. I know you can't fire a legend, but the more losses pile up, the more that whole legend thing heads south, and the list starts. What's the list? When the media wants you out, a list. And like Doyle did to me this a year or two ago. 7 years ago, this guy said this the list.
Yeah.
And it is starting with Belichick, and it starts with 2 things. One, the 81-94 record, Cleveland, Bledsoe. Now, the other is Tom Brady, without Tom Brady. What Tom Brady did, which is go to 2 Super Bowls and win one. And so that's the start of the list. Then it's going to become draft choices. Then it's become who you didn't sign in free agency. Yeah. This is going to get interesting.
And you got an owner who really, really likes being the queen bee of the ball.
Yes.
And Bob Kraft, instead of being the queen bee, he's sitting at the back table with the McCaskies and with Jim Irsay. And, he's at like the kid table at Thanksgiving dinner, and he doesn't like it.
Why do you think there are some franchises that just can't win in the NFL?
Oh, I think it's almost always the owner.
Is it?
Yeah, I think so. Like Washington with Snyder. Snyder's a terrible owner. Tepper with Carolina, terrible owner. Yeah,
is he a terrible owner because the team loses? Or is he or is it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Right? Like Khan or whatever the guy's name is in Jacksonville hired Urban and everybody, he's a terrible owner. Now all of a sudden they're winning. Is he a good owner now?
I always liked him. He's a Central Indiana or Illinois guy, and built bumpers to make his money, and so people in St. Louis knew him. He was coming to Rams games periodically.
So does that make him a good owner because you liked him?
Oh yeah, that's it. What the hell else is there?
I know. It's like a chicken and an egg. The Fords suck in Detroit, right? Yeah. All right. I mean, what's interesting about what you said? How many owners in the NFL, as compared to, let's say, Major League Baseball, maybe it's everywhere, are family owned? Is every ownership group in the NFL a family-owned deal? The Tribune used to own the Cubs, that kind of thing. Right.
And the Wrigley's before that.
Yeah.
And a lot of them are, because I think that it's become such a money pump. Like for the Rooneys, the McCaskies, the Maras, you can go down the list.
Yeah.
And until somebody passes, maybe when Virginia McCaskey passes, then George and Mike are going to say, let's get the hell out of this. Let's cash in our chips. Maybe they do that. But it seems like a really fun thing to do that from a financial standpoint you can't fail at.
Oh, God.
That's a pretty good thing.
You just print money. Let's go to the Colts real quick. Their team. Okay, they got the win. You said it on Monday. Everything fell into place. Who's the better quarterback in this game?
I think Minshew.
I kind of do, too.
Yeah, I like him better.
Do you? Why?
Yeah. I just think he makes better decisions with the football. I think his physical limitations kind of work for him. He knows what throws he's not supposed to make. And I don't think Jones has really adapted his psychology to that.
Sure doesn't seem like it.
No.
I agree with you. Both teams are kind of similar. They don't have great threats on the wideout position. The tight ends are nondescript. Good running back, Stevenson. Good running back. Should be really good running back. Taylor and Moss being a great compliment. They're a lot alike.
Yeah.
You go over there. Where are they playing? Germany?
Yeah.
So,
Frankfurt.
Yeah. Which is a great city. I got a layover there.
Really?
Yeah, Lee and I got a layover there, and we just happened to meet a young girl that was stranded, and she lives literally half a mile here.
No kidding.
So we said, look, you're with us. We're going to go have beers. We're going to have Wiener Schnitzel. We found this little place, laughed our you-know-what's off. We said, look, you meet us in the morning. We're Ubering. We paid for everything for her. She was a nice girl that went to Earlham. And we had a great time with her. And her mother was so happy because here's her daughter, right? I mean, a little African-American girl in Frankfurt looking around at the bus stop like, what do we do now? And so we had a great time. I love Frankfurt, and I love that girl. And, I just had a great time. And Frankfurt is one of the financial capitals of the world. So all that being said, great town. Everything flies through Frankfurt in Europe. Will the NFL, if you were an NFL player, would money trump everything and you just went and said, I'll play in Frankfurt for the Frankfurt hot dogs in the NFL full time?
No, I don't want to live there. Yeah,
I would hate that. I prefaced it all to make it sound good.
Yeah, no, I don't. Living abroad just doesn't appeal to me. Unless I could live in Ireland. They speak English. They're my people. I understand sort of an Irish way of life in a way that I'm good with. I can sit in a bar and sing songs forever, 5 nights a week. I'd have a lot of fun. I don't know what I'd do professionally. I do know what I'd do on days off.
Yeah.
Days off, I got covered in Ireland. But I would not want to play. We talked to Shaq Leonard today.
Yeah.
And everybody's saying the same thing. And people are asking the same question. It's oh, you looking forward to playing in Europe? And the answer is always, well, we are really looking forward to spreading the joy of the NFL to people who are so enthusiastic about great, blah, 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 all this. And somebody asked Shaq Leonard, and he looks at him and goes, no, I don't like traveling. And that was that. Like Shaq Leonard, he
shot you straight.
Always. He is always honest, and he's honest in the moment. And sometimes that means that he's giving you something today that maybe he gave you something different a couple of weeks ago. But he's always honest in the moment, and that he just can't play anymore is galling to him, and he doesn't sleep at night. He was telling us today. It was just so sad.
He knows he can't play anymore.
Yeah, I think he knows.
Really?
I think
what
it's
makes you
sad.
say that?
There's a look in a guy's eye.
Hell yeah.
I heard about Reggie Wayne. Reggie Wayne, the day he figured it out, I think Chap told me, sat in the locker room after a game with his pads on and his jersey, and you could tell that he knew that it was over. I saw a guy for the Rams. I felt so bad for this guy, and I can't remember. He was a safety. His first name's Al. He played for the Packers. And then he finished up in 11 or 12 with the Rams. And he did the same thing Monday Night Football early in the season. And he'd blown a couple of coverages. And he's in his pads, sitting in front of his locker, just like staring, knowing, shot. And he just has that look.
Yeah. That's too bad, because it seems like that rose so fast and burned out faster.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and that was supposedly the reason that he fell in the draft. He weighs 217 pounds.
Grigson told me forever, look, you can't. I think I told you this. Put him on the outside where you can't. He could play. Put him on the inside. He's going to get hurt every single day. He's 220 pounds. Inside, you shitting me? Shots coming at you from every direction.
Yeah.
Do you think a team? I think there's a big difference between having a game in Frankfurt and supporting a team in Frankfurt.
Yeah, there's a difference.
What do you think?
I don't think Europe's...
I don't either.
I was there 11 years ago. You were there since then.
Yeah, whenever the Colts played.
In London.
Yeah.
Everybody wearing different jerseys. Yeah. It was like an event.
Yes.
They had no rooting interest. They did the wave. They cheered at all the wrong moments.
Yeah.
They had no understanding of the game. Becoming like an ardent supporter of a team. Look, Indianapolis... When we moved here in 93, these people were crackers as fans. They had no idea what the hell they were rooting for. They would tell us, like, Colts scored a touchdown. You stand up and you're like, hey, like you would in Chicago at Soldier Field for the Bears, and you got ladies behind you, sit down!
Right.
What? Like, what the hell? Where am I? That's what it was here until Manning got here. And then it pivoted.
And to your point, I think one of the funniest things was these dudes bring out jerseys from 1960. You might see a Butkus jersey, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not, but I just think there's a big difference. I do think eventually it's going there. I think eventually it'll work because the NFL's spitting money. But I'll say this, and I'm curious. I would love to see people on this chat. Kent, I got to tell you, I think the NFL is a boring product. It hit me this weekend. I'm watching Sunday, and I want to watch, and I'm like, so many flags and so much stoppages, and it was that way when I went to games, but now it's this way. Like on
it's
TV.
Not a great live gate game.
It's a bad live gate. I will argue with anybody. It's a bad game to go to.
And they got to take care of their TV shows.
I know.
Because you're right. Those stoppages are death.
Oh, God.
And that's the way basketball is arcing. Like you can't, my God, stop it.
There's no momentum in an NFL game. That's what hit me going there. I think we 6 years. We sat in the sixth row. We had great seats right behind the bench, 50-yard line. And it would be like a team would get going and somebody would go down, get hurt. And then, of course, that guy comes out and it's 5 minutes.
The guy with the mittens.
Yeah. And it was like, God, Kent, there's no momentum. Now, maybe at the end of the game, a couple weeks ago was a pretty good game. I think the Colts won. Okay, at the end. But people want juice. They want continued juice.
Yeah.
And it hit me. Like, okay, I'm watching this guy's throwing a pass, same plays on every team. I don't know. I'm wrong. NFL's the greatest, but I don't know.
No,
If I didn't bet the NFL, I wouldn't watch. I'd watch Colts.
Well, I mean, same thing with baseball. I'm not watching the Mariners play the Royals under any circumstances without money involved, ever. And the World Series, the Diamondbacks and the Rangers. Why do I give a shit who wins that series?
You know, the only reason I watched that series was because I really liked that guy Garcia, the right fielder that the Cardinals cut and everybody cut. He gets hit by a pitch, and next thing you know, he's hitting grand slams against the team. I dig that kind of stuff, but I'm with you. Baseball is like you go into a dentist's office. Dr. Mike O'Neill, one of our sponsors, by the way, Today's Dentistry. Say hello to Julie when you go in there. But, you know, it's like background noise in a dentist's office, baseball. You turn it on. Cubs, Rossi out.
Yeah.
Counsell in.
Yeah.
We happy?
Yeah.
Good.
I didn't like David Ross as a manager. I thought he was haughty. I didn't think what'd he win? Why'd he get that great job? What did he do? He was a catcher. Okay, maybe he knows the game, but he gets hired out of the broadcast booth. I didn't like it. Counsell can manage. Counsell will take yours and beat you with them.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, he is that guy.
And they're only paying him what a middle infielder makes, which is remarkable to me. This is like the highest paid contract for Kona had, and it's like, I'm like, wait a second. That's like a middle infielder.
Yeah.
I mean, I think, maybe I'm wrong, but a manager in baseball with all the time you're together in buses and cabs and hotels and games and clubhouses and all this shit, he's pretty important.
But no more pajamas. I don't want pajama road trips. And leave whatever analytics that Counsell wants to use. But I don't want, like the front office boys, all that biggest analytics department in baseball with the Cubs, handing like a binder to Craig Counsell and saying, here you go, manage to this. I want no part of that. Why hire a great manager to manage to the book? I don't like it.
Benetti on the move.
Oh, my God.
How about that?
That's huge.
Yeah, it is. 8 years. He's always had a problem with the people there, not Stone or those guys, but he's always had a problem with management there, going back to how they treated those guys during COVID. He's always been that. He's always had a problem.
He's a receipt keeper.
I love him for that. I love him for that.
Didn't he have trouble? Didn't he have a dust-up in Michigan? Wasn't there a problem at Michigan State?
Well, we had a dust. We were leaving. We got stuck. You go out this way, and the student section was here, and they're MFing me, putting cameras in my face, and I literally, you motherfucker. You know, they just won the Big Ten championship. We did the Michigan State game, Big Ten championship. And all of a sudden, I don't say nothing because I got all these cameras. I'm just like, okay. Benetti looks at this lady cop, kind of hot, about 25 maybe. Blah, 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 blah. And she's like, you guys got to keep going. You got to be above all this. She didn't know that we were stopped. She thought I was stopping to give stuff back.
Yeah.
Well, we were stopping because we couldn't get out of this little walkway off the court across from the visitors' bench. And so I didn't say nothing. Not a thing. Get through their mother. I mean, they're killing me. We get out by the truck and we're sitting there and I got my hands in my pockets.
Yeah.
Benetti's standing next to me. Here comes this little cop. Hey, I don't appreciate it. You didn't know what's going on. He unloaded on her. Unloaded. She was a campus cop. He unloaded. And I'm looking and I start laughing because he turns red right in here, right in his neck. And she's like, wow, blah, blah, blah. He goes, I don't give a shit. We didn't do nothing wrong. He didn't do nothing wrong there. Why didn't you stop those kids? They damn near assaulted him, put cameras right in his face, hit him in the head, blah, 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 blah. And she kind of walked away. And he looks at me and goes, hey. He goes, you think if we told this story to our bosses at ESPN, they would really believe that it was me, not you, that went off on this?
He's great at what he does.
Yeah, he is.
I would watch Sox games just to hear Benetti and Stone.
Yeah.
They were that good.
Yeah, and Stone is in the latter stages, and we all grew up when Stoney was telling us what pitch was coming. But I'm happy for Jay. I know he was not happy there, so he must have gotten.
So he's going to be happy in Detroit. Who's happy in Detroit?
Isaiah Thomas for a few years. I don't know, but I do know this: he was not happy there, and that's a bad look for the White Sox. Kid grew up right there in Homewood-Flossmoor. Went to Homewood-Flossmoor.
Right. That's his hometown. Yeah. That's his home neighborhood team.
Well,
maybe they move Casper into the TV
I would imagine.
shot.
I would imagine.
You would think, right?
Yeah, I would imagine. All right, let's back to the Colts. Do they win this week?
I think they will. They like the Patriots.
You're a
nothing.
cheerleader. They're saying you're a cheerleader.
Who?
They're on here. Out of Creek, and these
Cheerleader.
guys are saying, "I get." Look at that finger. What is that? I like that Seinfeld. Babu.
Yeah, Babu.
They're saying
very
that
bad, very bad.
they got deported.
And they bring him back for the trial.
Yes. Jerry Seinfeld, very bad. Yeah, they're saying, these guys here, they're saying, hey, look, man, Ken Sterling is always picking the Colts. He's a cheerleader for the Colts. Your response?
I live here. I like the Colts. I go there every day. I like the people who run the organization. I like the players. So sue me. I'm a fan of the Colts. I'm not paid to be objective. I'm not objective. I don't want to be objective. Who wants to be objective? An objective observer of sports. Do you want that? Is that fun for you? That's not fun. You got to have some skin in the game.
I agree. That's why, by the way, Sean Black, we're taking you up on it. If the Colts beat the Patriots, you're shaving your head. You're sending us a picture. You're sending me a picture. I'm going to give you my address, and we're going to hold it up of you with a shaved head in honor of you trying to be Kent, and kind of shaved his head.
Kinda.
Yeah, and if I had hair like that, no way I'd be looking like this. I'd never shave my head.
I gave Julie the clipper. I left it in her hands. She could do whatever she wanted. She did what she liked. It was all the same length, but it was... I haven't gotten it cut since, so it was pretty damn short.
Yeah.
It's been 2 months.
Either that or it's just not growing like it used to.
Maybe I've...
I was watching the Indiana game, and you put this out, and you got me started. Indiana, first game since Bob Knight's dead, and they've got Hummel out there. They're throwing. They have no Indiana people. They're giving five games before Christmas. They're throwing him a bone. 5 games before Christmas. So, but I mean, I watched that little. What's that guy's name?
Rayfield Davis.
Rayfield Davis is the worst announcer in America, and he wore capri pants with a suit.
Did he really?
They were up to here, and no socks. And I'm like, all right. Whatever happened to men?
When people start dressing, no offense to Miles Turner, but when people start dressing like Miles Turner to make appearances on media, things have gone awry in a way that I don't think are retrievable. I don't think we can dial it back.
I guess.
Because he's a
he evaluated the rivalry. He evaluated the rivalry? What does that mean? Bob Knight evaluated the rivalry?
Elevated.
Oh, yeah, of course he did.
Yeah.
Of course he did.
And
so did Katie.
Look, Robbie Hummel is
fine.
a really good dude. Really nice guy.
Yeah.
He played against my son for years, going back to when they were 9. Hated his youth team, the Valpo Venom Vipers.
Well.
Horrible people. But they beat our ass once. But a great guy, really good dude, and a good analyst.
He's all right.
But I
can't watch it.
I don't need Purdue guys telling me all about IU and telling me about Bob Knight. I don't need Rayfield Davis up in Chicago doing the pregame before an 8. What are we doing? Where's Laz? Where's Kitchell? Where's you?
I guess they put Alford and Fife on at halftime. I turned it off. When I saw Rayfield Davis sitting there, like, what's this clown going to tell us? What's he going to say?
I mean, when did Purdue get the exclusive license to provide broadcasters?
Oh, it's unbelievable. And none of them are, I mean, Hummel's fine. I mean, he sounds like Billis, and they're both,
They do sound very similar.
Very
same
similar.
tone.
Same, yeah. But it's like, all I remember thinking, all they needed was that bald-headed guy from Northwestern, whose dad, Demps, I think is his name.
Oh, Trey Demps?
Yeah, he's on there, and I'm like, or that little howdy-doody guy from Illinois, Meacham. I'm like, that's all we need. Let these guys tell us about Bob Knight.
Where's the guy, the Wisconsin guy?
Was it Brust?
Oh, yeah, Ben Brust. And Jess Settles. We had the great Jess Settles.
I like Jess.
I don't know where
Jess
Jess
all
is.
of them. They're all nice guys.
Moses.
But
they're hiring from Wisconsin. They're hiring from
Indiana.
Iowa. No Indiana guys.
They hate me. I don't even know why.
You.
I get a nice text from Revson. My wife works for the Big Ten Network. They will not hire. And I won't even ask. They would not hire me to do the wash. I don't know. I'm persona non grata. I've never asked. I've never asked for a job, but I was pretty good to them. Even when I went and I left, they came here. They put a whole presentation together to keep me from leaving. Brevson came in. They can't stand me. And I don't know why. I don't know what I did to them. I never did anything. Support my wife. Thank you for having my wife on, but they hate me.
Maybe your level of work is so superior that you make everybody else at the network seem ordinary.
You know what? There was a time, and this was a pretty good crew. My first year, my only year really at Big Ten, there was me, Gene Cady, Jimmy Jackson.
Yeah.
And Refs. That's pretty good.
Oh, up on the
That's
dais.
pretty good at halftime.
Yeah.
I mean, no, I'm sorry. Yeah. No, I replaced Cady. So it was Refson, me, and Jimmy Jackson. Now, I'm not bragging on me, but that's pretty good. That's a pretty good representative of the Big Ten, its history, and everything else.
Yep.
Now you got Raphael Davis and Andy Katz, Seth Davis.
If ever, well, I could go on about Andy Katz.
Andy Katz. He said, "Well, Doc, I hope you don't talk so long." I said, "Andy, we were on a show together. I go, Andy, I got to tell you, you've been doing this shit for 20 years and you've never said an interesting thing. So I might go long just so the world doesn't have to hear it." And he just, all these little guys, it's just funny. But hey, man, you sent a text out and I was just going along. And then I saw your text about, what is it, illegal to hire an Indiana guy? They don't have an Indiana guy. I don't know what the deal is. I don't know.
Well, the Big Ten Network's got to get... Here's the thing. Like, you know what the Big Ten Network is. It's a mouthpiece for the Big Ten Conference. Right. And they want people that they trust to sing from the hymnal. Right. And that is not your strength.
They came in one time when I was there, and I was just sitting there and did a halftime. And I said, it's like a heavyweight fight, Wisconsin against... And here comes this guy, Sutton. He's in charge of everything. Comes in his biker pants and biker shirt. And Jimmy and I are sitting there, and we were like this. Hey, like, kind of like Krzyzewski on the sideline when he's MFing everybody, right?
Yeah.
This. Hey, who said heavyweight fight? I go, I did. Me. And Jimmy's like, he goes, yeah, you can't say that. We're trying to get away from that. Big Ten's trying to get away from that. It was like 18-16 at halftime. Wisconsin's all scrappy, And maybe Purdue shooting bricks. Kyle Kramer, whatever his name is, out there trying to shoot jump shots. I don't know.
I'm trying to figure out what would be objectionable.
They did not want it to be a boxing match. They were trying to make the Big Ten be
sexy.
Yeah, faster. It was.
Well, do it. What's the matter with you?
I know.
Like you saying that all of a sudden changes people's reality in their minds?
There was like 8 people watching because it was like the second year of the Big Ten or third year, and I'm like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, you're right. And we Jimmy and I looked at each other and goes, can you believe that guy's outfit? We didn't give a shit what he said. It didn't matter what he said. And but no, I love the Big Ten Network. I think the Big Ten Network's the best thing to happen to the Big Ten if you're going to go away from Channel 4 with Indiana and Purdue games. Yeah. If you're going to go away from it, I certainly don't. Now you're going to have to get Peacock and NBC.
Right.
So we'll see. But all the NBC did was just become the Big Ten Network. They hired Bardo, and they hired Jordan Cornette was like our stats guy at the Big Ten Network. They wouldn't put him on air because he wasn't a Big Ten coach or player. Which was really, I thought he was great. I thought Jordan was great. So Jordan's going to be involved of NBC, and it's just the Big Ten Network on NBC, bigger stage. What has Bardo told you?
Let me ask you about Pacers, because you're every bit as plugged in at least to broadcasting and sports media as I am. The owner of the Jazz goes on with Pat yesterday, Pat McAfee, and he talks about how he's turned the Jazz into a media company. Everybody in Utah, then parts of Idaho, Wyoming, they get Jazz games for free, over free TV.
Yeah.
And they build the social media, and they're building special experiences for people who stream and all of that. And all I could think of is, why aren't the Simons watching this? And why don't they do this for the Pacers?
I don't know.
What are they doing? I can't watch them unless I pay $20 a month. What am I, made of money?
I don't. I get them, and I don't watch them because I can't listen to Quinn. It's just nonstop word salad, and they're fun. I don't know. This go back to the day when the Blackhawks were
Yes.
were blacking out the home games.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden they didn't, and they sold out every game for 100 years because people saw how much fun it was.
From like 05 when Bill Wirtz died, the owner, all of it, they got good simultaneous to it. So there was that. But in 06, they moved up 07, 8, 9, and then it was 24,000 every night to watch Blackhawks.
Because it was kind of the Indy 500 theory, right? We're not going to broadcast it because people won't come. That's the dumbest thing.
Every piece of research that you've ever read in your life about media and about event broadcasting and ticketing, you can't find anything to justify. And Penske's smart. You can't find a piece of analytics or data that supports blackout on TV yields better gate. It doesn't exist. It's ridiculous. And how they continue to do this, I just don't get.
I don't either.
And who talks about the Pacers? Like, if we go to Wolfie's right now, you're going to hear people talking about the Colts, and you're not going to hear a pin drop about the Pacers.
I'm telling you, Kent, I forget. Interesting you mentioned that. I forget when it was. Maybe it was like last winter. I got into a routine. I would get up, and I would work out, and then I would either with Lee or maybe she was gone, we would go to Wolfie's, 1 o'clock, have a salad or whatever. It was a Cobb salad. And there was a Pacer afternoon game on a Saturday, or maybe it was a Sunday. I don't know, it could have been. They didn't have it on TV. And I'm guessing it's because maybe they couldn't get it on TV. But the Pacers game, I think it was Wolfie's. It was either Wolfie's or Murphy's. The game was not on TV.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. I mean, you're talking about basically sports bars. They got 8 million TVs in both of these places, and you don't have it on TV. And you wonder why you were last in the league in attendance last year. Weren't they last year?
I don't even know.
They were last for at least at the All-Star break when I was following it. And they ended up, it's just stupid. And nobody's going to pay $20. I will say this, and I don't know. Lee and I went last year. Had a great time at the Pacers game. Not a good time. We had a great time. I forgot, maybe Eddie got us seats, and we just had a ball. And it wasn't, okay, we had great seats, okay. But the entertainment was great. It was just, It was like one of those deals where you're like, hey, Lee, good time at the Pacer game last year? Awesome. Yeah, she said awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah, so I don't get why you wouldn't want in a basketball state. 49 states, it's just a game, whatever.
They just don't. And we both know a lot of people in the organization, and we like those people.
I like those people.
I'd like to see them succeed, but it seems like they get in their own way quite a bit as they make these decisions.
How much is enough money?
Right.
I guess there's never enough money. People are saying ESPN's going south because their profits were cut to 20 million from 40 billion in profit. Like, how much is enough money?
Yeah.
Like, why are we paying a guy $60 million, Jaylen Brown, to play basketball? How much do you need, Pacers? I mean, what do you need? You need $20 out of everybody's pocket to watch, a game that we love here in Indiana, that we supported?
The technical aspect of it, the broadcast doesn't even make it to TV.
No, right.
For 2 or 3 of the games.
Right.
How's that even possible?
I don't know, man.
Like, you're just willfully turning people into non-fans.
Easily.
It's unbelievable.
And you know what? I'm watching this show on Uber called Super Pumped, and they make an interesting point with Super Pumped in this show. I watched the first episode, and it's really interesting how Uber got going, how ridiculous it was.
Yeah.
But the guy in Uber, the guy who invented Uber,
yeah,
he said, if we get people in our car twice, they're hooked.
Yeah.
Because they just made it easy. You don't have to pull out a credit card. You punch a button. Here comes the car. I don't have to worry about the tip right there. And the Pacers just make it easy. Right. Just make it available where I can sit my fat ass down and watch the Pacers game and go, hell, I'm going to go to a game. Go to 2 games.
Exactly. Watch it twice, then go. Yep.
That's what I'm saying.
Yep.
But we'll find other shit to do.
We do that really easily.
Damn right we do.
Yeah, we do.
We'll find kids now, and I started doing this, somebody will send me, hey, Dan, look at this TikTok. It's pretty cool. Well, okay, I'll watch it. I'll start watching more. Next thing you know, 20 minutes is gone.
Yeah.
It's stupid, Kent. I'm with you.
You need to share this so your friends can do exactly what Dan was saying.
2 times.
Subscribe. You're going to enjoy it twice. Yeah, watch twice.
And watch us twice and you're hooked. And 61, I'm embarrassed for you people. 61 thumbs up. 61?
Yeah, for God's sake.
I'm embarrassed.
The beard is worth more than 61
He
likes.
looks like Bill Benner. I understand that you're not happy. I know. I understand.
I look like Bill Benner.
I know. I mean, Bill Benner got good hair. You look angry. You got the gray. You look like Bill Benner.
You were sending me running out of this house home to go shave. Running.
No, but it is true though. If you go to a Pacers game twice, you're probably going to like it.
I love going to games.
You know what the tickets cost? So
somebody got some for $11.
The lovely Tegan Shaw, my beautiful stepdaughter, and her boyfriend Charlie, great dude, played left tackle at UIndy. He's the biggest Pacer fan I know. They go like every day. He lives downtown. They spent $9 on tickets.
No kidding.
They go sit up there. Yeah. They have a ball. A ball. And it's like I said, we had really good seats. So, I get that. But it wasn't that. It was like, Lee and I have been to a lot of events. You've been to a lot of events. Some events you got great seats and the event sucks.
Right.
Some events you got great seats and it's like, okay, great because of the seats. Other events it's like, man, the event's good. So I applaud the Pacers. I like the Pacers. Carlisle sent me a really nice text after Coach Knight died. We've been in communication. We talk a lot, not a lot, but we go back and forth. Just make us all fans because you got a fun team.
We want to be fans.
Yes.
We're in.
I'm in. You got a fun team. Halliburton's terrific. You're scoring 134 last night. Yeah. I think the Colts do a pretty good job of that.
Oh, I do too.
I think Jimmy Irsay, for whatever you think of him on Twitter, Alvita saying he tweets out the other day just for the Sam hell of it, right? I think they do a good job of that.
Well, they do a really good job. Blue is terrific.
Yes.
And like community outreach stuff, they take it seriously, the community outreach. And the Pacers have this kind of, I don't know whether it's an earned reputation, but a reputation of not doing that at the level that the Colts do. The Colts they do make it easy, and the NFL makes it easy by keeping all their broadcast rights in-house with the league, instead of having individual teams do what they do. Crazy to have that be the case because it breeds inequity between the franchises financially.
I mean, you see it in baseball constantly.
Yeah.
I mean, you just that's why you'll never hear me ever, and I did not say it about Jason Hayward. I'll never say a word about the Colts Cubs overpaying, because when George Steinbrenner got the Yankees, he said, look, screw this. I know what I got. I'm big market. I'm big money. Yeah. I'm big TV. Cubs are big market, big money, big TV. Spend the frickin' money. I don't give a shit how you do it.
Right.
I don't.
Right. And then we don't feel so stupid for paying for it. Paying the exorbitant prices for tickets and $20 a month for Marquee Network. Please. Have a decent team and I'm in. If you spend the money wise, I was a season ticket holder for 3 years. And after 17, it was like, the bloom's off the rose. And I'm all done with this because they kept coming for more in an aggressive way. Phil Wrigley sold gum to make money, and he owned the Cubs as kind of a civic property. I don't mind that. I know that's not the best way to do it.
It's a day gone by, though.
Yeah, I know.
It's a day gone by.
Prices, I still remember it. Box seats $350, and go to the bleachers, it was $1.
It was $1.
22,000 seats every single day on sale day of the game.
And you know what? It did not. But I'll say that didn't build the Cubs, though.
No, GN.
Yeah. And the Cubs, finally, I don't know. Look, I'm not going to tell you that Leo DeRocher was, a guy that was in there. But I do remember when Dallas Green and Lee Elia came in there from Philadelphia. And I'm like, all right, well, this is big-time guys.
Yeah.
Like, these weren't slapdick Joey Malfitano at third. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it was like... And so the Pacers, I think the Pacers, they have a big-time guy as a coach. They got a big-time player. I think the Colts have a chance, and it's so unfortunate about Richardson being hurt, because I would like to see where he is at this stage in the season,
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I think people would be excited about.
And rightly. Yeah, for sure.
Even if they're the same
they win
record.
this week, they're 5-5.
I know.
Off we go. Yeah, things can happen out of 5-5.
It's a must-win game, Ken.
You got it. You got 17 of them. They're each worth like 5 NBA games.
Oh, yeah.
Each of these games. That's math.
Let me go to one other thing.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you this. You're going to poo-poo it. I think the Big Ten is mediocre in basketball. I think Purdue is so good. I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to tell you. I said this about Kentucky. Only one other team have I said this about. Kentucky, and they went undefeated except against Wisconsin. They lost. People crushed me for it. Kent, the road is hard in the Big Ten, but I can see Purdue going undefeated.
Did you bet Purdue and the -19 against Samson?
Like it was my job.
That was the lock of the century. God almighty. And they went up like 21-2 and it was over. You know what? They're really, really good. And they're really committed to each other. And Edey is a complete difference maker. And Mason Gillis somehow is back. How old is this gentleman? Like, he's got to be 28 years old. These guys are like 10-year vets.
I saw a picture of Brandon Smith. Was that his name?
Braden
Smith. Man, he looked ripped. He looked like this team is serious. I'm just looking and I'm trying to, because Michigan State was so bad, 1 for 20,
awful.
But it wasn't even the 1 for 20. It was like, I've never seen Michigan State guys not understand. The 2 runs the left wing, the 3 runs the right wing, or vice versa, whatever. The 4 or the 5 runs right to the block, post up ball side. The trailing big has 4 or 5 options. He can catch and shoot. He can go down screen. He can ball screen, pop, ball screen, swing. I mean, it's been the same shit for 100 years, and they ran nothing. And then the one guy is must-see TV, Tyson Walker. He may beat Purdue on his own. He is so freaking good offensively. But they're supposed to be the next. And Indiana's probably the most, I guess, talented team. And they look like crap. Wisconsin will be Wisconsin. Illinois is okay. I'm thinking to myself, wait a second here. I'm watching Purdue going, this is a experienced, uber talented. They have everything you want. Things go south, you throw it into the monster.
But what month is it?
Well,
every single year, this is what they do in November.
Can I say this? I can see them. I would, gun to head, if you said gun to head, Dan, is Purdue going undefeated in the regular season, which means pre-Big Ten tournament and pre-NCAA tournament, I'd have to go pray on it. Indiana's
going to beat them twice. Indiana does not lose to Purdue under Mike Woodson. Period. End of story.
They didn't last year. I mean, they didn't. But I can see. Here's the problem with Indiana right now. Who always gets a bucket? Post guys. Did that big Sparks kid play? I don't remember seeing him.
I didn't see him. I think he was hurt or something. He wasn't going to play.
And then the little point guard that called me a clown, he's hurt, which is what people do that call me a clown. They
Who's that guy?
Jakari Wheeler. Is there a Jakari guy?
For Indiana?
Yeah.
Not that I know of.
Yeah, he's got
Ja'Kai Newton.
Yeah, well, yeah. He put a clown emoji when I was saying, look, I don't want to hear about travel 2 years ago. This is a little high school kid who's got a mommy that's a big mouth on Twitter. It's just disgusting. And anyway.
You are a genius at poking different bears. You were a great bear poker on Twitter. You do something, I don't know to the extent you want people to know that you do this, and I think you do it on purpose. The whole, according to sources, my sources tell me, you get more comments and more activation through people saying, your source, John Heyman tweeted that 12 minutes ago. Like you get all of this use based upon the silliest little thing that's just funny to you.
It's just funny to me. Like, it's just, there'll be a game on, and I got the sound down, and I'm reading a great book on CAA. It's like a 1,000-page book. The creative artist,
right.
Michael Ovitz. It's an awesome book. So I'll watch a game. I turned on Hummel for a minute, and I'm like, when I saw your text, I'm like, I'm not listening to Purdue guy talking about Indiana. No fucking chance. So I turned that down, and I started reading my book, and this if something would come up then, it'd be like, so, and I know you told me at one point that it pisses off the little clowns that work at Indy Colts beat writers. It pisses them off. So
it does come up once in a while.
You have to, look, it's like the great Jimmy Bullock, former Purdue player, said to one of the players on our team as he walked in the shower, he looked at his pee-pee and he said, "Who are you going to please with that?" And the player said, looked dead at Jimmy and said, "Jimmy, myself."
Really?
Oh,
that's beautiful.
I don't know. And the guy is a very successful, you wouldn't know his name. I don't want to say his name. Great guy. I think he's an orthopedic surgeon or something. I don't even know what he is. It's the greatest answer ever.
That's awesome.
And I'm in the shower just rolling, just laughing at both comments.
Yeah,
right. Because both comments were beautiful, right? You're high school, you're a little dipshit, And Bullock, who I just texted with yesterday, it was like I just started laughing my ass off.
The shower. Were you a comfortable guy in the shower?
Never had a problem.
I did not like I did not like the shower because of the conversations that would happen outside the shower when we were in high school.
Oh.
Hey, did you see this guy?
Oh yeah.
You see, wow.
Yeah.
Holy, and I was like, what are you looking at? Do your business and get the hell out of there. Why are you checking out other people's package?
Did I tell
you out of your mind?
Have I ever told you my Indiana recruiting story in 1980, my brother?
No.
Kent, I will not bore you people, but here's what happened. My dad, my brother, and I go to the Indiana 1980 Big Ten championship game. First time I've ever been, I had never been to Assembly Hall, never. I'm walking in, I'm like, this is fucking unbelievable. Indiana wins. So Indiana wins, and we don't know nothing about recruiting, and we're walking out, and Cruz comes out and invites us in the locker room. So you were in that old locker room, so that it's an L shape, and we're standing here, and the entrance to the shower is right here. So I'm just standing there, my dad, my brother, everybody's happy, and we're like, I don't say nothing, no, but I'm shy anyway. And next thing you know, players getting ready, whatever. And here comes Isaiah into the shower. And Knight comes over to us, and he goes, "Hey, Dockages, I want you to meet Pee-wee." He called him Pee-wee. And Isaiah's got a towel around his neck. And my brother, who was a year older than Isaiah, so he was 2 years, whatever, is just like laughing. And to the point where it's like, dude, man, what are you doing? Like,
yeah.
And Isaiah says, all right, Isaiah was great. How you doing? Blah, 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 blah. And Knight leaves. And he goes, stay here. Players are going to go. You guys go to Butterfield's. Have a great night. Don't get in trouble. You guys might stay in here. I want to talk to you. So Knight leaves. Isaiah gets a shower. And I go, Tom, what are you doing? He goes, did you see on Isaiah?
Yeah.
And I go, no, idiot. I go, no. He goes, oh my God. And that's my Isaiah story. But to this day, he told him about it too, because he's Isaiah's lawyer.
Yeah.
So he's like, yeah, we kind of make. So that's why I was comfortable saying it on this show, because my brother and Isaiah have had the conversation about it. Have
you ever had a conversation with anybody about Lou Brock where that didn't come up?
No, I didn't know that. Really?
Yeah. Any whole-time Major League Baseball guy, you say something about Lou Brock, and they're like, whoa, you kidding me? Jeez, he's got a belt climber.
Do you know who Taylor Rooks is?
No.
Taylor Rooks is absolutely a wonderful young lady. She was in Illinois. And beautiful. She's very popular on social media. She's on all kind of different stuff. And she was Lou Brock's granddaughter. And so I met her in Illinois, and I got talking to her about Lou Brock. And she told me that in the time she has been around, she was only, when I talked to her probably last, she came in the studio and did a show, probably 25 maybe she was. She's like, I've never met anybody nicer than that man in my life.
Really?
Said he was so gracious to everybody. You know what? He was disappointed to leave the Cubs. That's their family lore. I think I've got this right. But nobody would ever know it. So happy to be in St. Louis. Loved everything about it. Just the nicest man ever.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good guy.
Boy, we cover a lot of ground on this show.
We do. You never know where it's going to go. But you do know that at some point it's going to end. We've moved up to, how many is that? 78?
Is that 78?
78.
Yeah.
We've got to, please, for the
when we retweet this show, we got to get to $5,000. And,
5,000 subscribers is a nice the benchmark.
And I want to see how many people that I and Kent talked about today get a hold of us and are pissed.
We don't mind ruffling feathers.
Dan, you
going better at it.
Dan, you going to any hockey games this year? I just got a text from Chris Vosters, who is the Blackhawks announcer. So yeah, I think we are. Chris is a friend. Did a couple games with him and did games with Lee. He's now the TV voice of the Blackhawks. So yeah,
that's a good time. Also, going to like Indy Fuel games and whatnot.
We went to the Blackhawks game. Everybody told me how great it was. We left in the second quarter. Period.
Really?
Yeah. I was bored.
Hockey's a game that moves.
Hockey
there
moves.
are not a lot of stoppages.
No.
It goes.
What is not going on here? Why isn't we got all this?
I don't know. People are very agitated.
Very.
All right. Monday.
Jerry Seinfeld.
Very bad.
I got deported. He no get the mail. What did he say? Is that what he said? What was he didn't get his he had a I don't know.
He told me to open Afghani restaurant. No one come. Very, very bad man.
See ya.